Ask yourself, what did you really lose when that woman left your life? No, no, I want you to actually take your time and think about it. Because a lot of us men, when we face heartbreak, when we go through a breakup, we tend to think that the world has ended, but it didn't. And if you really take the time to sit back and reflect on what you truly lost, all it was a connection. Even more so, it's just a thought, an idea, a concept that you constructed in your mind. What we tend to do when we're dealing with a woman is we see ourselves with them for a very long time. We start to picture our lives with them as our wives and as the woman who has our children, as the woman that we are going to travel with, etc., etc. But in all reality, all that is you as a man creating these thoughts, these concepts in your head. And when these concepts, the future that you predicted with this woman does not play out the way you thought it would, you think you lose something, but all you lost were your own thoughts. Stay with me. I know it's sounding kind of crazy right now. I like to think that after every single breakup I've been through, that when I sit back and I truly reflect on what it was that I lost when that person left my life, I never really lost shit. I lost nothing. And for a lot of you men, all you're losing when that woman walks out of your life is some consistent coochie. That's all you're losing. Stay with me, because that lust that you have for her, that feeling that you have for her when you're doing these naughty things, that's what you're missing. Because I often challenge a lot of men, and I love to hear when men lie about this. I love hearing men lie when they answer this question, but I ask men all the time, if that woman removes sexual access, would you still be with her? And a lot of men say, yep, yepperoo, I sure would. You're lying. You're lying. You're a fucking liar. Stop it. That's not true. Because it's genetically programmed into us. It's what we as men want to do. We want to procreate. So stop lying to yourself and stop lying to me. Anyway, so what I'm really trying to get at in this video is you're not truly heartbroken because that woman left your life. You're heartbroken because the concepts, the imagination that you had, these ideas that you constructed in your brain that did not play out the way you thought would play out, it didn't happen. So you're upset about that. So how can you combat this? How can you make sure that this never happens again? I'm going to give you a good rule of thumb, because I'm not gonna say it, and I'm not gonna tell you that it's possible completely 100% to not have these thoughts. It's impossible. It really is, because women make us think these things, and love can make you do crazy things. But nevertheless, I'm gonna tell you what you should be doing as a man whenever you are dealing with a woman, when you are getting to know her, when you're in a talking stage, or even later on down the line in the relationship. But let's just say, hypothetically speaking, right now you just started speaking to a woman. You just started talking to her, and right now you're getting to know her. Do not make plans with her that extend the amount of time that you have known her. Write that one down. Get it tatted across your neck. So if you have only known this woman for a month, 2 months, 3 months, then your plans with her should not extend a month, 2 months, 3 months. In fact, I would even argue that in this day and age, it's probably best to cut that in half. So if you've known this woman for 3 months, your plans with her should not extend further than a month and a half. If you only known her for 6 months, your plans should not extend further than 3 months. So stop thinking about getting married, having a kid, buying a house, because I do this a lot, right? I do this a lot. I get with a woman and I'm instantly thinking like, oh man, she's so nice, she's so cool, she's so lovely, blah blah blah, ABC XYZ. And this is why I always tell you all, how a woman acts in the beginning of a relationship is not what you're going to truly get. All right. One thing, I was talking to my mother about this not too long ago actually, and a friend of hers say that the first few months that you're dealing with a woman, she's sending in a representative. She's sending in her assistant, mentally, right? It's not truly her. Later on, once she's comfortable, when she, feels that she has you, that's when you get to see the real her. But you have to understand that when you're making these plans, especially early on in a relationship, you're making plans with this woman and you don't even truly know who she is. You don't know her, bro. You do not know her. The only man I feel, and this is what I tell myself, especially moving forward, the only man I feel that should genuinely be distraught whenever a woman leaves their lives if you gave them a good portion of your life. I'm not talking 1 year. I'm talking like 3 years, 4 or 5 years. You married that woman and then she became something different and then she no longer wanted to be with you. But if you were only with a woman for, let's just say, a few months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, brother, you don't know that person. That's still a stranger to you. I'm sorry to tell you. You don't truly know someone until you live with them. If you never live with a woman, you should not be you should not be hurt about losing a woman. I'm not gonna cap because you don't know who that woman is until you live with her, bro. Until you see her cleaning habits, her financial habits, how she acts when she's, on her cycle. Until you see all of these things, how she speaks to you whenever she's angry, like truly angry. Like, does she still keep it respectful? Or does all that respect shit go out the window? Until you see all of these things, brother, you don't know who that woman is. She's still a stranger to you. And I don't care if it's been 3 months. That woman is still a stranger. If it's been 6 months, she's still a stranger. You don't truly know her because she's still on her best behavior. She's still giving you the part and pieces of her that she wants you to see. You haven't truly seen it all. And like I said at the beginning of this video, brother, when that woman walks out of your life, which will probably happen to a majority of the men in this world, a woman will walk out of your life. I haven't met too many couples who they were each other's first relationship and they're still together to this day. That's like a fairy tale. Although it does happen, you have your high school sweethearts, but most of the time, most men, a large majority, 99.99% of men will experience a woman leaving them, probably for another man, for a career, because she's moving, or whatever the case may be. You're going to be hurt. And I'm telling you right now, that what you're hurt about isn't truly about her. The connection that you made with her is just like a connection you make with anyone else, right? Let's just say you start working with somebody, your coworkers, you get close, you guys start hanging out. And then, of course, if you were to get another job opportunity, you would take that job, right? And of course, once you leave your previous job, you're going to miss your old coworkers, but you got bigger, better things to do. I need you to start looking at your relationships as coworkers. I need you to start looking at the women that you are pursuing, the women that you are trying to make your wife in the long term. Look at them as coworkers because you can always get a promotion. You can always get a better job and move on. If you catch my drift, you can always move up the ladder, go up the ladder with, and maybe one day, just one day, you'll become the CEO. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but you know what? I don't really care. And there's going to be a lot of women that watch this and they be like, girls can do the same thing. Girls can do the same thing. She don't got to settle. She can keep going up, keep going up, keep going up, whatever the case may be. Darling, if you think, right, if you think the older and, the more time you spend trying to find a partner, the easier it becomes for you to find a partner, I don't believe women work like that. I think the more partners that a woman has, the harder it is for her to truly pair a bond with a man. And I'm not even talking about sexual partners. I'm talking about just partners in general, dating in general. And the stigma now, the thing to do now for a lot of women is they're being told to date around, to date, right? Okay, sure, date, experience men. But what happens when you're unable to determine what's a good man for you? Because you've experienced so many men, right? Because this guy has the money, but he has no personality. He's not fit, whatever the case. This guy, he doesn't have much money, but he's fit. He's nice looking. You like to look at him. This guy, he's funny as fuck. He's correct. This guy, he's funny as fuck. He charismatic. And he has all the things. He has no money. He's not fat, but he doesn't check all the boxes. This guy doesn't check all the boxes. This guy doesn't check all the boxes. So then you go on and on and on and on as a woman, and you try to find a guy that checks all the boxes. And guess what? You will never find a guy that checks all the boxes. We as men, we understand this. We as men understand that when we connect with a woman, when we find a woman, that woman will not check all of the boxes, but she's going to check enough boxes for us to be like, you know what? We weighing it. We're like, you know what? She's cool. She's lovely. She's nice to be around, whatever the case. She's cute or whatever. I'm gonna marry her because she checks enough boxes. I don't believe it's in a woman's head to actually sit and say, you know what, this man checks enough boxes for me to dedicate my life to him. In fact, women are being told to do the complete opposite. Women are being told that if that man does not check all of the boxes, you can find better. And I'm telling you that no man will check every single box, just like no woman will check every single box. Nevertheless, I believe that we as men understand that, hey, she's not going to check all of the boxes, but she checks enough boxes for me to commit to her. Cool. I don't believe that women think like that. I believe that the more men women experience, whether that be sexually or even non-sexually, the more men a woman experience, the more difficult it is going to be for you to actually bond with a man. This is why I don't tell women to sleep around. I don't tell women to do anything. I don't even tell men to sleep around because I think it messes with them mentally as well. But I definitely do not tell women to sleep around or have multiple options and date. I tell women they can take their time just like a man takes his time. Like everyone should take their time, but it's a very, very, it gets very gray once you actually dive into the differences between the male and female. Nevertheless, men, understand that I'm yapping right now, but I want you to understand that you don't really lose anything but consistent coochie whenever that girl leaves. Now, if that girl was actually in your life, like let's just say hypothetically speaking, she was actually in your life, she was actually building with you, she was actually taking care of you, maybe helping out with some bills, and like for me, for instance, I make content, whatever the case. Like, let's just say she was helping me with my content, da 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 da, and then that woman leaves or whatever the case may be, the relationship doesn't work out, and you're hurt about that. Okay, sure. 99.99% of the time when you are going through a breakup, when that woman leaves you, you are only upset because you lost some coochie. That is all you are upset about. This is why we are not supposed to have sex until marriage. But we don't got to talk about that. We don't got to talk about that. We don't got to talk about that. What you're connected to isn't genuinely that person. You're not genuinely connected to that person. You're connected to the lust that you have for that person. That's why I tell a lot of men, like, hey, and even I had to tell myself, I had to look myself in the mirror and realize after a breakup, I'm like, yo, I didn't lose nothing. My money's still up. My body's still good. I still got a roof over my head. Car still good. Family still love me. God still love me. And that woman walked out of my life. What did I lose though? What did I lose? I lost some coochie. That's it. I got to keep it real with the dogs. I got to keep it real with you. So I want you to sit and I want you to actually think about it. I want you to actually reflect and be like, man, what did I lose? Write it down. What did I lose? I want you to ask yourself, when that woman walked out of your life after she broke up with you or whatever the case may be, and she walked out of that door or whatever, she sent that text message, she made that phone call. When she walked out of your life, ask yourself, what did you lose? Write it down. What did she take away from you that you cannot obtain anymore? 9 times out of 9, the answer is probably not shit. It's not a damn thing. But hey, I just wanted to make this video because I feel like a lot of men are really struggling with handling breakups and handling these situations, handling heartbreak. And I'm letting you know all of the thoughts that came across my mind whenever I was going through a breakup, whenever I was dealing with it. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't hurt, bro. You're going to feel something. You will always feel something. If you have some sort of connection with a person and that person is no longer in your life, you will feel something once they leave, of course. But just understand that what you are truly hurt about, where you are truly upset and sad about, is the concept of that person, the idea of that person, the way that person made you feel. But I promise you, if that woman walked out of your life and within milliseconds you had another woman that walked straight into it, you will not be hurt. But the issue with a lot of us men is that we can't replace women that fast. Most of us can't, right? Most of us can't. Most of us have to go back out, date again, ask, hey, when's your birthday? What's your favorite color? What's your zodiac sign? We got to do that shit all over again. But I promise you, if a girl said, hey, it's over, she walked out the door, and then within the next hour, you can have another woman inside, like the door, you probably would not be as distraught. So I'm gonna leave that there. But I'll leave you off with this before I end the video. All right. This was all off the dome. I just hit my mic. I forgot my mic was up there. This is all off the dome, non-scripted. This is just me talking to the fellas. This is just an idea that I had. I was like, you know what? Let me tell the dogs what I did, or like my mindset whenever dealing with breakups. But just keep in mind, brother, that there's more important things for you to do. And I know this is also a very cliche thing to say, but there are plenty fish in the sea, right? A lot of them are probably bottom feeders, but there's some good fish out there, all right? There's some good fish, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and say that there aren't any good fish. You're just fishing in the wrong waters, all right? You fishing in a swamp. You fishing in the mud. You know what I'm saying? You fishing in a sewer, okay? But if you go out, if you get you enough, you know what I'm saying, success and money, and you build up yourself and whatever the case, and you able to get a nice boat, and you go out to the, down there by Mexico, by Cozumel. You ever been to Cozumel or Belize? You ever been down there where the water is like just so clear? There's like nothing, and you can see the dolphins underneath. You can see the starfish. Like I need y'all to travel the world. If you never seen clear ocean water where you can actually see down to the bottom of it, I need you to get a passport and get to it, my dog. But nevertheless, if you were to go to those waters and you started fishing for the fishes in those sea, there's clean fish, clean, beautiful, lovable fish. The kind of fish you don't even want to cook them. You don't even want to cook them. You want to take them home and keep them forever. But a lot of the fish that you catching, you probably need to start up some grease and deep fry them motherfuckers. But no, you caught you a swamp fish and you didn't deep fry it. You caught, they say it's a lot of fish in the sea, but you went fishing in a swamp and you caught you one of them swamp fishes, one of them swamp guppies, and instead of deep frying it, you went and took it home and you put it in a fish tank and you started to love and care for it, not knowing that it was just gonna dirty up your tank, my dog. I love making videos, man. And if you don't understand that metaphor, then get off my video. But that's all I got. If any of this hit home, please hit the like button right along with it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell. All right. And leave a comment down below telling me that you are done fishing in the swamp. All right. You're not going to bring home no more of them swamp guppies. All right. You're going to go out to the beautiful clear waters and you're going to start fishing out there, man. Hey, man, I love y'all, man. My name is Timothy. This is the Timothy Speaks YouTube channel, and I cannot wait to catch you in the next one. Peace.